Alrighty then, how's everyone doing this fine afternoon? We got a little gameplay for you here. This is going to be more of like a first impressions video. I have played the first 3 hours of Wasteland 3, and I gotta say, I'm having a fantastic time with it. So, starting off, what we're going to do here is I'm going to run us through the opening character customization. Select my difficulty. We're gonna do this. We're gonna take the easiest route because I'm gonna be real with y'all. These attack shooters like XCOM, Shadowrun, this game, even stuff like Baldur's Gate, where it's turn-based. I am not very good at these, so bear with me. Also, we're gonna skip this cutscene here because I want to keep this as a surprise to anyone who might want to watch or experience this game for themselves. It's pretty cool. Anyways, I'm not gonna spend too much time in the character customization, but we're gonna go ahead and just jump right in and kind of explain things real briefly. So, units in this game work a little differently. You have 4 custom units, and then you have 2 spots open for companions. Companions in the units are a little different. All the units that you end up having are rangers that you recruit to your cause. You will eventually be introduced to your main base of operations, where you'll then recruit said units. The 2 companions slots are for characters, NPCs that you find out in the game, during the main quest, etc. But to start off here, it gives you the option of 2 characters. To start with, they have pre-made sets that are all actually pretty cool, and I like that they did this. But for the sake of the video, we're going to create a custom character just to kind of drop in and show you what's going on here. Like I said, you create both of them simultaneously. You're going to want to create one as your primary and the other as a complementary skill set. But before I go into further explanation, let's take a look at this. We have pre-made names here we can choose from. No surprise there. Or you can type in your preferred title. Alright, you can choose your gender.
We can handle this.
Choo-choo!
You started it. Oh man. They've spotted
New targets in.
New targets.
All your different voices. And then this is sort of like a pre-assigned passive buff you get from the beginning. All of these have minor bonuses. These are kind of like your like in Elder Scrolls, the signs that you can assign, like your constellation. Kind of similar in that regard. I want to take a moment here to illustrate or to shine a light on the fantastic humor in this game, or at least in my standards of what's funny. So each of these have their own little blurb over here. For a goat killer, nobody believes you, but you know what you saw. A giant red goat standing over your mother's body, freaky golden eyes glittering in the night. Goats aren't normal. Just listen to them. You're going to kill every last goat you can. Draw out that monster goat, and this time you'll be ready. Bleat, bleat, motherfucker. I don't know if I need to say more. A friend of mine pointed out that this is kind of like the humor from Borderlands and Fallout and like Outer Worlds, but on steroids. They don't pull any punches here. They just go straight for it. It's silly, it's hilarious, and I've genuinely enjoyed the writing so far. It's made me laugh out loud several times. So definitely spend some time reading these. I think you'll appreciate it. Going back, we can go into appearance. Not a whole lot here. You do have your standard faces you can pick from. None of these look particularly great. Some look better than others. You can pick some of these, but I've never been real big on face paint. It's kind of annoying because I like some of these faces, but I'm not, I don't really want yeah, so I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. The hair is not so bad. I actually like the quality of the hair. It's not that old, like, shitty Fallout style. It looks more or less realistic, you know. You could have faded in a little better here, but that's more on the barber than anything. I wouldn't spend too much time on face and hair because you're probably going to end up with a helmet. These are all pre-game starting helmets. I wouldn't even really spend too much time on these because as cool as some of them are, you're not going to use any of this stuff. They don't provide any bonuses to you. You're going to replace them with better gear. Same with your jackets. Same with your pants, right? The only thing I would spend a little bit of time on is the armor color, because this color scheme will translate over to other armor you find later in the game. So any armor you find in the future is going to be blue, and it's going to be green. Okay? So don't pick obnoxious colors if you don't want obnoxious colors on your character the entire game. Physique is where I have to go ahead and give them an award here. Your build and your stature, I feel like it's more realistic looking than other games. You know, some games they take your standard size and they just inflate or deflate that character. These actually, you know, the hips look normal even though the shoulders aren't as wide. You know, same here. If you're stocky, you got a little rotund, right? It looks, to me, more accurate. Also, there's this. You can completely play as a little person. You can be very little, in fact. And there's no penalty for being this character. And there's, on the inverse, there's no upside to being gigantic other than just having a dominating presence in the battlefield or a quiet one. I love this personally because it's just hilarious to see your character running around with knives, just jabbing people in the Achilles, or in this case, running at them with a wrench the size of your arm, just absolutely cracking skulls, baby. Portrait, your standard portrait system here. None of these ever look like the character you've created, so just pick one that you like. Maybe the clown, because that's how I'm feeling right now. And then you, like I said, you don't really need to spend too much time on appearance here. It's really not all that important. Starting weapon. These will be determined on your skills and attributes you pick. So for skills, we have combat, general, and exploration skills. These are your typical, like, you know, survival mechanics, hacking, lockpicking, armor modding, etc. Toaster repair. I honestly don't know what this pertains to. If you look at the perks, putting a toaster back together is like putting a piece of pre-war world back together. Toasters have taught you a lot about thermodynamics. Like, I don't know what these do, but there are characters that you can get that have high-level toaster repair. I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point. Also, you have your social skills. These are for your conversation checks. Barter, hard-ass, kick-ass, leadership. These are like gated social skills. So if you're level 4 and you're in conversation and it requires a level 4 barter, you automatically pass. There's no percentages. So it's not like you unlock level 4 or 5 barter and you have a percentage, like 30% chance of succeeding. It's just a straight up success rate or not. These obviously open up different avenues of conversation and opportunity. Don't look over these. These are actually important. These are more or less secondary skills, and then you have your general skills that can also be either primary or secondary skill. For instance, if you want to do a medic, you know, you could pick first aid and you could pick something else. But I recommend, at least so far in my experience, pick your primary combat skill. So like in this case, if we picked automatic weapons, we could go ahead and invest a couple points in that, with one remaining to pick for explosives, right? That just gives us a jump start. Throughout the game, you can pick any of these, so you're not stuck with one choice. However, once you've invested skill points, I do not know if there's a way to go back. Your attributes are kind of going to be based on what your build is. So, like, if we wanted to do small arms or assault, stuff like your awareness, which increases range damage and your hit chance and your perception, your speed. This is how quickly and often you can move in combat. These things are going to be determined on the sort of build you want to run. So melee character, we can just go ahead and just deck it out full strength right off the bat and leave everything else wanting. Or we can do, you know, more balanced build. Whatever works for your playstyle. That's one of the main things I like about this game, is that it really allows you to play the way you want to. It doesn't tell you no in any scenario that I've seen so far. And then, like I said, your starting weapon is determined based on what you chose prior. But one interesting thing is your quirk. Now, these act as like a sort of double-edged sword, right? So, bot bag, increased armor, but your combat speed is lower. Or circus freak, you're faster, you have more resistance to crit, but your evasion and your detection takes a hit. Also, I don't know why it makes me a clown. That's the first time I've noticed that. I don't think any of these. Oh, wow. So I never even noticed this. Jesus, look at that. That is absolutely terrifying. Wow. I didn't know that was a thing until just now. That's fantastic. Looks like those two are the only ones that get unique appearances. And I don't know how those appearances will transfer over. They definitely overwrite your... man, that is... Sargundas the Sex Machine mime. That's really something. Wow. Okay, anyways, yeah, like I was saying, you don't have to pick these quirks. You can go with no quirk. The only one I have experienced was a serial killer. You lose AP from the start. So, like, if you do a melee build, for instance, like how I'm using it, you get 2 attacks per round, 4 AP each. You end up with 7, so you only get 1 attack per round. But if you do manage to kill someone, you do get a bonus 3. So you can end up kind of chaining together several attacks, several skills this way. Like I said, there is definitely an initial penalty, because if you don't kill on that first strike, that's all you got. But yeah, we're not going to spend too much time here. Like I said, you kind of get the gist of it. I've already created a couple of different characters because I was more or less experimenting and learning. There's a lot here to learn and to try to understand. I'm not going to play the first part of the game. I'm just going to kind of, like I said, this is more or less a first impressions video, kind of giving you some thoughts I've had on the game so far. So I'm going to jump into my most recent character and kind of just give you a little idea of kind of what's going on. Maybe this is a game that you'll love, maybe it's not, but I have had a fantastic time with it so far. And any fan of RPGs, shooters, and especially the tac shooter or any turn-based anything, I think is going to have a fantastic time with this. The environments, for being a shoddy wasteland, are actually not like drab and boring. You know, a lot of games, you just, it's like, I don't know, everything's gray or everything's tan or it's just boring looking. But something Wasteland has done here is that, yeah, we have an environment that's pretty stale. It's just a cold, miserable town. But the way they use lighting in this game, the high fluorescent glow of places like this casino or just even like lamps in the distance or fires burning, it has, I think, the right level of saturation to sort of punctuate the monotony of the environment so that you're not just staring at this just theme of colors that ranges from gray to like drab green, right? One thing I've definitely appreciated so far. But let's see here. We got a couple things to explain here. I'll jump into some combat here in a moment. I want to go ahead and say that there are spoilers moving ahead. Um, you know, hopefully the video has given you enough starting point to pique your interest. But if you want to come along for the rest of the journey, we're going to be continuing from here. This is about 3 hours into the main game. Not a whole lot's happened. Honestly, the second time I played through this, I got to this point in like an hour. So a lot of the time spent is just kind of learning and figuring things out. One thing I will point out that's pretty important for you to understand early on is the importance of team synergy. So I started with Mira and Lily as my 2 starting characters. Mira is your typical automatic assault rifle build with leadership built in. These are going to give bonuses towards other allies that are in your area. So she's just sort of like the leader of the group. I picked automatic weapons just as kind of like, I don't know, you know how it is. Assault rifles, they got decent range, decent damage, nothing spectacular about them, but they can usually pull you through most situations. Lily, on the other hand, was our combat melee specialist and Beastmaster Animal Whisperer. I've had a great time with this, actually. So in order to complement these 2, we needed a medic, we needed someone that could fight at long range, we needed someone that had sort of tech skills, and then, you know, just general DPS beyond that. So we have Zeus here, who is our sort of nerd mechanic. This is hacking, this is fixing and fighting robots. And then, you know, big guns, no surprise here, big damage. He's got a flamethrower now, so he's good for sort of sweeping an area and getting some debuffs on some of the characters like Burn and Bleed. We have Bison Bill, who's acting as our sniper / medic, which actually comes in pretty handy because we keep him at a distance. As a result, he's able to kind of zip around using his high speed. Well, it's not so high right now, but it will be. And yeah, so like I said, kind of create characters that can serve dual purposes, or you can just specialize in one thing. So like Marshal Kwan here, he's generally just sort of like our, he's like a get shit done character, right? These sneaky shit and kick-ass are going to provide in-combat bonuses like perception and initiative. Also, he's a great character to lead with because his detection time is longer than other characters. So you can get closer towards your enemy without them noticing you sooner. And then last but not least, we have Lucia here. Now, these are the 4 characters that I created, these 2, and these were 2 pre-created characters you can recruit from your main base of operations. These, however, are companions. Companions act a little differently. They have unique dialogue options. I don't think you can even really have conversation with your other characters that you've recruited. These are characters that you find throughout the game playing. You can choose whether or not to enlist them, and you can send them away at any time. And you can also piss them off to the point where they just leave you. So, you know, if you're playing a bad guy and you've got 2 characters that operate on the good side of the spectrum, depending on how loyal they are to you is whether or not they're going to stick around, put up with your bullshit, or just fuck off. So I actually really like that. We do have a couple skill points and tributes to spend here. For Quan here, probably should increase his awareness to go ahead and just get a little bit more TPS. He's already doing a pretty good job, but that 5 mark seems to be a pretty good point as far as where we are right now. These are, like I said, going to give us conversation roles, and then this is just generally like kind of like your initial intro into battle. You can sneak, disarm alarms, etc. We're going to go ahead and just bump him up to 6 here, stack that up, and we won't have to mess with automatic weapons for a few more levels. We can kind of invest here. Something you'll notice is that there aren't a ton. Like, she has 4 learned skills, whereas they only have 2. She came with these, so I didn't choose these. I would recommend picking 2 to 3 to invest in initially. Until you kind of like get proficient in those areas, and then you can kind of branch out a little bit. But you only are going to have so many levels and so many skill points to spend, and it's a lot more efficient if you just enlist other characters that can fulfill other roles. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's see, what do we want with her? Maybe another point in luck. She's actually great at doing damage, so we actually might throw one more into speed. She gets 2 attacks per round with her revolver, so she's sort of like a cleaner. She just comes in afterwards and just kind of picks up the pieces. Skills. We don't have anyone else that can weapon mod or barter, so probably spend a little bit there. That makes me feel a little better about those skills in particular. But yeah, just, general overview of how team synergy works in this game. Let's see if we can't jump into this mission here and do a little bit of fighting. Like I said, spoilers here. If you don't want to know what happens, you should probably end the video now.
We've got drinks, dancing, and games of chance. Pick your poison. We've got drinks, dancing, and games of chance. Pick your poison.
What's your favorite song?
Gotta be sex door. It bops so hard.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. I love the humor so much. They just, like I said, they waste no opportunity here. And like I was saying earlier about drab environments being punctuated by little bits of light and interest here. Great example here. Plenty of life here in the casino. You seem like someone I need to talk to.
Well,
no more gambling for me.
Scrim, goddamn. This man greets you with a smile, but his eyes dart about, never staying focused on your faces. He has a collection of pins and medals strewn across his chest.
Ah, it's you, Red Hats. I was wondering when you'd come to see Charlie Nose. Farron Brago's capo, leader of men, hero of the Battle of Two Buttes, savior of St. Elmo, and friend to everyone worth knowing. Welcome to Little Vegas.
What is St. Elmo? Battle of Two Buttes. Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Sure thing, Red Hats. What can Charlie do for you? El Gato? What?
Come on, Charlie. You remember Delgado. Nice guy, family man, way too good for the trash in this place. No way you could miss him.
Oh, not like you, Marshall. You blend right in with the rest of us. Sorry, haven't seen him. Old Charlie would tell you if he had. Until next time, Red Hats.
I think he's hiding something. Alright, let's see. Perhaps we should try this area.
These stairs lead to Mr. Brago's lounge. He said I should let you guys through. But don't even think about messing with that computer behind me. I got one job, and that's guarding that computer. And if you was to mess with it, well, that would be a very bad day for you, my friend. A very bad day. Good, because that is the computer that controls the ventilation system. And I have to guard it because it's broken, and there could be real trouble if anybody said it wrong.
Well, thanks for the input.
You better not be, because if you were to set the fan to off and the heat to max, which isn't supposed to be possible, but right now it is, the furnace could catch fire and burn the whole place down. So I'm not leaving my post for anything. Well, maybe if a fight broke out I would, but nobody would be stupid enough to start a fight in Mr. Brago's place, would they? You're not gonna say I said any of this, are you?
Alright. Well, glad he's guarding everything. Let's head upstairs. Talk to Mr. Brago.
Ugh. So gaudy. So ostentatious.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome
See
to
it.
my club. Ah, Rangers, what a pleasure. I heard you were in town. It must be, what, 20 years since we crossed paths. Not that any of you would remember that, of course. You were probably just kids when Vargas and Angela Death and the rest helped me save Vegas. And I hear we have you to thank for Cassidy's fine clothiers being back in business. My capos and I thank you. If not for Cassidy's, we'd have to settle for second-rate suits from the bazaar. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm Farron Brago. Welcome to Little Vegas. My recreation of the glories of the town we lost. Perfect, isn't it? I'm glad you think so. You should have seen it 5 years ago. Nothing here but the walls, and half of them were falling down. We really worked hard to get where it is today. But enough about me. How are things with the Rangers? Is General Vargas still in charge? I'd love to give him my regards. We owe him and his team a lot. Is that so? Way to make a man feel old. But I'm sorry to hear Vargas is gone. He was a great man, ready to do anything to help the people he'd sworn to protect. Thank you for telling me. Now, what can I do for you?
This guy's way too polite. I hate when people are super polite. I don't want to do things that are against their desire. Damn it. Let's see.
Certainly. Ask away.
You're a connected guy. You know anything about who lets the Dorseys in the city?
What? I don't want those kind of connections. Murder in the streets is bad for business. If I were you, I'd be looking for someone with a grudge against a patriarch. Not exactly a short list, I know, but...
Looking for a marshal named Delgado.
I know Delgado, but I haven't seen him. If he came here, he didn't come to see me. What a shame. Nothing I like more than a good grilling. What else can I do for you? Ah, yes. Had that painted for my office back in Vegas. Before the robots came. Not a bad likeness, eh? Thank you, Rangers. That's very flattering. But really, it's not so much that I haven't aged, but more that the cares and woes of running Vegas back then made me old before my time. Since I've come to Colorado, I feel 20 years younger.
Definitely sketchy.
Good luck.
Well, that was pretty useless information.
I don't know what the boss... No funny business around Mr. Brago. Got it?
All right, let's take a look at the journal here. Recruit personnel. Look for Delgado, the Little Vegas nightclub. Bring a jailer, medbay doctor, an armory quartermaster, garage mechanics. So we're working on that. We've got a brig jailer already. We're working on the quartermaster next. Let's see what we can do. Private party.
You know that
Fuck
I
me!
know the DJ from way back?
You mean the robot?
Yeah, my dad reprogrammed it, so we're like super close personal friends.
I'm not sure it's smart enough to have friends, but...
Wonder if Ted is
Always
working
have a
today.
time at Little Vegas. Even if I go
Welcome to
home
the
with
Little
red
Vegas
hot
brothel,
balls.
friends.
It's just like hellfire.
Kendall. This man's face is a crosshatch of scars. He puts on a professional smile as you approach.
Oh, hey, Quan. Looking for a good time, I assume?
Sorry, Ken. Me and my friends are here on business today. Rangers, meet Kendall, Colorado Springs' finest purveyor of sins of the flesh.
That's my name, yes. Excuse me a moment.
He turns away, hard-faced, and one of his girls leans in.
You really shouldn't ask him about that. He had a misunderstanding with Mr. Brygo, and they cut off his junk. Smooth like a Ken doll. Get it? Makes him a great pimp, though.
Wow. Alrighty.
Delgado. You know, that name sounds really familiar, but remembering is going to be hard work. The kind of work a man should be paid to do.
Kendall, you predictable son of a bitch.
I need serious cash. Any less, and it isn't worth the risk.
Fine.
Shit! I knew I should have asked for more. All right. Don't tell anyone I told you. But Delgado was sniffing around the club, asking too many questions about the Dorseys. Last I saw, Charlie Knowles was pulling him into the back rooms behind the bar.
God damn it. Now Daisy's gonna want Brygo dead, and she won't take no for an answer.
Yeah, okay. Bye.
Oh, God. I love it, man. Every conversation is interesting to me. Just the odd conversational choices you can have. So, hey, Charlie, another visit.
I wish I could afford.
Hello again, Red Hats. Well, ain't you a clever seed of Red Hats? But let's not be rash here, yeah? The only way you're getting past that door is through a hail of bullets. And no one wants that, right? Look, it wasn't Mr. Brygo who conspired with the Dorseys. He's not that stupid. But a little bird told me it was someone in our organization. I can give you a name. All you gotta do is prove this guy was acting on his own. Way I see it, everybody wins. You get your culprit, and we don't get in trouble with the law. Once you clear Mr. Brygo's name, I'm sure he'll release Delgado. Look for our man McTavish at the machine shop, near Pillory Square. I don't care what you do to him, but if you can come back and prove the rest of us weren't involved, I'm sure we can make a deal, yeah? Also, I didn't tell you this, Red Hats. Until next time, Red Hats.
I really don't like that he calls us Red Hats. Well, I think we're going to have to go a little deeper into this mission before we come into contact with some people like him that want to fight. So for now, I think we're going to just end this video. Like I said, I just want to give you a brief overview of how I've experienced the game so far. Who knows? Maybe you'll pick it up for yourself. It's free on Game Pass right now. Otherwise, I believe it's $60. Definitely check it out, though. If you got Game Pass, absolutely give it a try. Even if this isn't your type of game, I think there's a lot here for everyone, and a ton for those who are already into these types of games. But anyways, we're going to continue this series moving forward. I do plan on recording my experience from here on out, so be sure to tune in for that if you're interested. Don't forget to leave a little like down there. You know, do all the usual stuff. Subscribe if you're new. If not, let me know why you don't like the videos. Anyways, till next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye.